listening to CCO Podcast, episode 336. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to talk about going into retirement. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
We are back. What is going down?
A whole ton is going down. We're recording in a different epoch in time. We're getting ready to head off to GP Las Vegas.
Oh, GP Las Vegas?
Whatever the hell.
What are you, old enough to retire?
That's a tease.
Double tease.
We're going to talk about all that kind of good stuff, have some thoughts about a bunch of stuff that I hope the people will enjoy hearing about. Before we get to any of that stuff, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs.
Yeah, very much so. Got what will probably be my last Fusion order coming in prior to going to Las Vegas. Yeah, had some stuff I needed. Yep, used CCO Spring promo code to get a discount on it.
Heck, no, now, did you use the code because you could, or did you use the code because you were going to buy that stuff anyway?
I was going to buy it anyways.
That's right. See, it's good fiscal management. And
yes.
In these times, good fiscal management is important.
Yes, very important. Used CCO Spring. If you're new to the nation, you can use CCO Perks promo code to get you 10% kickback on your order for stuff in the future that you're going to buy anyways. Again, you can touch tips with the promo code. Use them both at the same time.
Yeah.
That's DP promo code. DPPC.
Oh.
CO Podcast.
That's
is
right.
Who we are now.
Yeah. We've changed the name. It's way easier to say. There it is.
Way easier.
It's way easier to say that. That's the truth. Yes.
So we teased retiring twice.
Yes.
Because we're old. My hip cracked on the way up here.
Yeah.
And now I can't walk.
Yeah.
But CCO not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're still going to be here. Although retirement, I did make chocolate pudding out of eggnog instead of milk the other day.
Oh yeah.
And oh boy,
where did you get eggnog?
At the store.
They got eggnog at the store?
Of course they do.
Like,
it's almost Halloween, man. Christmas decorations are on the shelves already.
Yeah, since July.
Yeah.
I know. I'm leaving directly from here, going to Tim's Bud, and then driving to PA to frickin' do Christmas lights on my brother-in-law's house. But the permanent ones that like you leave up forever and they frickin' suck to install, so that's why we both got to do it. Plus my brother's coming.
And they love to do things in the dark because as we live in Canada and it's late October, the sun's already going down.
Oh yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning, sun's going down. We're retiring the day. Hey, that's a few retirement teases. Let's tease the topic. We're talking about retweaking, revisiting, retooling decks, or shelving them.
Yep.
Retiring them.
Yep.
Why, when, what does that help you accomplish? What kind of thoughts we have on that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I also had a thought that's in the exact opposite direction that I was going to ask you about also, because it's the bonus episode and we can do whatever we want on the bonus episode.
Oh, we got so many cool things to do on today's bonus episode. I'm actually really excited. Mm-hmm. First, I went to EDH the other night.
Me too.
EDH Night Magic.
Yep.
Played a game. Played with my Averna Cascade Super Friends deck.
Oh, yeah.
Only got one Planeswalker. But boy, did I Cascade.
Man, that's the worst Super Friends deck I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, but it's the best Cascade deck you ever seen. I Cascaded with a Bloodbraid Elf with the guy that lets you Cascade when you cast a spell from exile once per turn.
Right.
I don't remember what his name is, but I Cascaded into another Cascade spell with that. So when I cast the Cascade spell, I cascaded off that because I cast it from exile. And all the while I had Averna out. So every time I cascaded, I got to play a land. So I got like 3 or 4 lands that turn, cascaded into a bunch of different things. One of them was a ramp spell. So I got another ramp. So I got another land. I started the turn on like 5 land. And I ended the turn on like 13 land. It was awesome.
Then you lost?
Did lose. Yeah. Did lose. Yep. Playing a Kozilek deck. Guy had that it's like Caged Sun, but for colorless spells, where every time you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life, and your colorless stuff costs like 1 less.
Yeah, some kind of...
Or no, gives you 1 more mana if you tap for colorless.
It's on the screen because Joel has put
Forsaken Monument?
Yes.
Did I get there?
That you did get there.
Yeah. Guy named Shaman went to chemistry, first year chemistry with him, And he had that plus Basalt Monolith and went infinite mana, but then he had like a tutor, and then he drew into another tutor, then he drew a card, and then he played a Walkie Bee. And I got Walkie Bead.
Wow, you mean somebody won with infinite mana and a walking ballista?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad you said the real name of the card in case Editor Joe didn't know what it was. So that's some Magic talk. What did you want to talk?
Totally opposite about retiring decks. I realized at EDH&M, here's the pivot.
Hey.
EDH&M, I realized that I have built for myself the perfect deck.
Oh, like 99 Brash Taunters and a legendary Brash Taunter commander?
Oh my god, I mean, not that perfect.
I can only get so hard.
There's only so hard I can get before all the blood rushes out of the rest of my body and I just die.
You turn into a raisin.
Exactly. But I have built a deck that 100% of the times that I've played it, I have had fun.
Oh.
And I look forward to every single set because something gets printed for it that'll be cheap as balls that I can maybe put in there.
What are you talking about?
AV.
Like the ooze deck?
Progenitor Ooze.
Oh, yeah.
My Snake/Ooze Tribal Storm deck. Played it on Sidewalk Slam one time.
Yeah, on Sidewalk Slam 3?
Totally blew myself out.
Oh,
You wouldn't even know that that deck was any good. I played the thing that cascades 4 times, missed. But you know what? That's fun. And it's funny that you miss.
Oh, frick.
I played 5 spells and I missed. I got nothing. It was amazing. So every single time I play that deck, it's super fun. And every time they print a new ooze, it's got some kind of weird text on it.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what the hell they do. And they're just fun to play with. And I get to jam them all into this one deck. And it doesn't make the deck any worse. And it's not too powerful that I can't jam it with, like, precons.
Yeah.
But it's also not so it's not so weak that I can't play it with Kaikar.
So what you're saying is it's the deck that you'd never retire.
Yes.
That's why it's the opposite direction of.
Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm playing. It's like, man, I wish I was playing AV right now. I would rather draw land.
Is
and
it your
just play
favorite deck?
It is. I don't know if it's I don't think it's my favorite.
Oh, dude.
I don't think it's my favorite. But it is a deck that I will bring with me everywhere I go.
Even to the bathroom?
Even to the bathroom.
Gross.
It's actually in the truck right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And I fucking love that deck. And I'm curious to know if, like, other people out there or you have such a deck. Like, do you have one that, like, the exact opposite of what we're talking about today?
My go-to, like, every time?
Well, not even a go-to, just one that, like,
Sorry, my go-to whenever I go to an event, like Magic 30 next week.
Like you know you're going to have a good time playing it.
Yep.
And you know you're going to have a good time, like, talking about it. And you know you're going to have just a good time because this deck is there.
You know what?
You never have a bad game with it, right? Like,
I think I do.
Like, I love Norrin. Norrin's my favorite deck all time, but I have bad games with Norrin. Right? Like, sometimes I'll have the one where you just draw the hard control stacksy thing and you just roll. And it's like, oh, that's not very fun. It's cool that my deck did that, but it's not the most fun. And some days you have things where it's like, I have a Norrin. Like, I have a creature that can't block and nothing else. And that happens too.
Yeah.
Whereas with AV, I never have games like that because of how it's constructed. There's less variance,
I think my deck like that is Calamax. It's a go-to. I always bring it to events all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I can always talk about it for a bunch of different reasons. The CCO Nation helped me build it. Mm-hmm. They helped me build the entire deck. They chose all the cards. It's a dinosaurs in vehicles deck, so it's really fun and casual, but it also, like, slaps. Lips, dinks, you name it, it slaps it. But it's not, like, super powerful because I can just go the vehicle route.
Does it have a clown car?
It doesn't have a clown car. No. But I thought I was super clever when I was like, dinosaurs in vehicles. And then Topiary Stomper came out and I was like, I'm going to totally cut a Cultivate and play a Topiary Stomper because it's a ramp spell that can't attack but can crew a vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's a freaking dinosaur, right? Like, it's like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah, it was my favorite include of the last little while. So, and same thing, every set or every couple sets or so, you get like a dump of new vehicles.
Or you get a new vehicle, you get a new dinosaur?
Get a new dinosaur, yeah.
You might get.
We're going back to Ixalan next end of next year. I'm going to get a whole bunch of new dinosaurs.
Holy shit. You think they're going to bring back the 5 legendary dinosaurs? We're going to get a new Zatalpa that goes CCOs in every single white commander deck until the end of time. Zatulpa.
I was trying to get there. My brain and mouth couldn't do it.
That's why you have me.
Speaking of brains and mouths.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of brains and mouths, we have a bunch of stuff that we got a brain and mouth into your brain.
Got to use our mouths to put it into your brain.
Yes, through your ear holes.
This is the
Lube them up.
This is also the part where you want to use your eye holes and watch on YouTube, which you already should be, because Joe works really hard.
Oh, and speaking of eyeballs, check out this shirt. Yeah. Check out this shirt.
There, see?
You got to watch on YouTube or else you won't fucking see it.
It's neat. It's got like eyeballs and the CCO logo and a spine, and it has our name on there, and then there's some like drapery of some sort, and it looks really spooky, and they're really cool.
That, I previewed it on the Discord to the patrons a couple times, just like a little snippet of it or whatever while I was working on it. That is the CCO Experience Las Vegas exclusive shirt.
So if you're there in the house, you get one.
That's right. Super limited. You get one, I get one, and the people that are coming to get one, Rebecca got one because I had to fill a minimum order size, so Rebecca got one. But this is part of what you get for being this CCO Experience House member, in addition to a bunch of the other stuff that's still a secret till we get there.
Having a fantastic time and being at an event that has a lot of baggage.
Oh, dude.
You know who doesn't give a fuck about baggage? People that stay in the CCO house, because we're going to have fun regardless of how...
I said on the Discord yesterday that this is the most pessimistic I've ever been in about how an event has been organized and about play space ever. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about the play space, and then everybody just piled on in the Discord. That's why CCO Nation's awesome. And everybody was like, we can organize, and what are they going to do? Tell like 15 people to move like continuously? And if they do, Aiden Miller was like, I'll just bring my folding tables and we'll set up in the parking lot. Then we'll be outside and we can drink beer. And then another guy was like, no, we won't move. Another guy was like, yeah, we'll just freaking make the CCO Experience Las Vegas like at the Airbnb house, or we'll just go to Fremont Street and play Magic. Like, what are they going to do? Judge us for being different? Have you ever seen Fremont Street, right?
Have you ever seen us?
Yeah, so CCO Nation is fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun regardless of how well or not well the event is organized. I've seen the floor plan. It looks like there's lots of stuff that they never announced or talked about or advertised. It looks like there's lots of stuff to do there, like an artist gallery and stages and different like shops and stuff to do, which wasn't on the fucking card. Like that wasn't on the banner. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's going to be so awesome, but we're not going to tell you about any of it.
I've seen all of that stuff before, and the event is going to be really cool.
Yes.
The only worry that we have, I think, collectively, or had...
It's playing on the floor.
...was having to sit in the lobby on the floor to play Magic, but I don't think that's going to be a problem because...
You don't?
The people that we're going with are amazing, and we're going to get it figured out.
Oh, I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
one guy even said, we'll take over the quiet room. It's going to be the CCO room. Not so quiet.
Not quiet at all. Although, just as therapeutic.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah. It's always good. I'm always so busy and stressed before we go to get like commissions done and get shit organized and get the stuff that we're giving away and stuff, organizing that.
So and I'm always just really excited to see you get on an airplane.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite parts is when we show up at the airport at the first time, and I'm really excited to get on the plane, and Ryan is not. Mm. I will say again, he is not, and I am. And it's a lot of fun for me to see somebody who's so miserable about doing something that's so awesome. Which is flying in the air.
I've got like 700 segues, but you never stopped.
No.
Speaking of awesome.
That's a good one.
Speaking of giving stuff away.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of promo codes from a few minutes ago.
Yep.
We got some exciting news.
Yes, we do.
We have done a little bit of homework because we wanted to make sure that they're good people and they sell good products, which they do. We set up a little deal with our friends over at geekwood.ca.
Geekwood.ca.
Yeah. That means they're Canadian.
Yes.
They're Canadian. They're from Quebec, where they speak French. But They ship anywhere in the world, and we got some of their stuff. You got to watch on YouTube.
This is the YouTube thing. We're going to do Ryan's going to show it. I'm going to do my best to describe. Bag of holding.
That is
small dice bag full of +1/-1 counter dice. They're like 6-sided dice.
Yes.
Except they have minus and plus on them. They're very cool.
Yep, very cool. So those are going to be part of a giveaway package. We've got chainmail dice bag.
Chainmail dice sack. It looks... I think the coloring was unfortunate. And if you're looking at it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
We've got Magic the Gathering pin.
That's really cool. It's like a magic card, but it's like an enamel pin. Very neat.
And some people collect those, hey?
Yes, they do. Ooh, I have a couple that I'm going to bring to Vegas. I want to give away. I have an Orzhov and a Simic enamel pin from those guild packs from years ago.
Okay, don't distract. We're doing the Geekwood giveaway.
Right. Metal dice, 6-sided, +1/+1 -1/-1 counter dice. Very neat.
Giant dice bag with dragon embroidery.
Embroidery. Who would have ever thought that CCO would ever be associated with embroidery? Anything can happen, it turns out.
So we set up a little deal with...
No, there's more. There's more. There's more. There's 20-sided dice where instead of a 20 and a 1, there's a fuck and a yeah. And you can pick which one is which. Just make sure you don't switch it mid-game.
Yes.
That's important. Yes. That's very important.
Is that a 1 or a 20?
Yes. Right? Like, you have to make it clear before you roll the dice. That's important.
So,
these dudes are great.
Yeah.
I've been talking to them for a little while previous to this giveaway. Ryan did all the big-time business stuff. Way back in the day, they actually sent me a sample, a little bag of holding with a few dice in it and stuff. Love them. Use them all the time. People are always impressed.
Look at that, eh? First-hand testimonial?
Yeah. So I'm not only...
First-hand testicle.
Not only am I shilling because we have a deal with them, I'm also a satisfied customer for years.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
You find the CCO socials, whether it be on YouTube if we do a separate little video, if it's Twitter, if it's Facebook, you share those, you like it, you tag a friend. That's how you get entered into all of our social giveaways. But there's more.
Ooh.
If you want to win Geekwood.ca's version of this, you can head on over there. We have an affiliate link. It'll be on the screen or up in this corner or down in the show notes, wherever you find the show. Use the affiliate link. Doing so supports the show. Yeah, we're shilling an affiliate link. Sorry. It's freaking expensive to host a show, okay? And doing so will get you a discount when you use CCO Podcast promo code.
All caps, all one word.
All caps, all one word, CCO Podcast. Joe will have it on the screen, 10% off.
Get some cool dice, or a really neat, they make custom wood dice towers and stuff. They have really neat stuff.
That is the real reason that I first garnered interest in these guys, because they do high-end, they're called Geek Wood. The wood is real wood, and it's machined in such a way to make dice towers and holding trays and all the like nice high-end dice stuff.
Their stuff is very cool and very good, and
I think they do custom wood burning and wood etching as well, like, and they've got like laser engravers and stuff. So if you contact them, they can make you custom stuff.
These guys are cool as hell.
Yeah.
So check them out.
Speaking of cool as hell,
Okay.
we got another giveaway for
What?
Trazyn the Infinite, the booster pack game from last week.
Oh right, yeah. That was the
Totally-
episode that we did.
Totally, yeah. It's been so many freaking episodes. Who are we, Command Zone?
Oh no, we say things that are important that people should listen to.
Totally real name giveaway. Munzu Light.
That's definitely a real name.
Yes.
I went to school with a Munzu Light.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
No, this is a fake name for sure.
Well, Munzu Light, you contact
Sounds like a salad dressing.
commandercookout@gmail.com. Let us know it's you. Let us know your address. And if you want a booster pack, sticker pack, or token pack, and we'll send it to you.
Maybe it sounds more like a brand of like bacon bits with no fat.
Munzu Light.
Munzu Light.
Just the meat.
Yeah, just the
meat.
Well, congratulations. Get at us. CommanderCookout@gmail.com. Send your fucking address. And nobody who isn't that person get a hold of us. You ruin it for everybody with the honor system and shit.
Next giveaway.
Jesus.
It's the bonus show. We got lots
away
of
everything.
stuff to give away. Well, we're spreading the love, and we want everybody to enjoy and love tuning into CCO Nation because they win stuff.
And you will win.
Secret Layer Land giveaway. Here we
Full
go.
text land.
Yes, full text land.
Saying land now doesn't mean anything because there's so damn many of them. But full text.
The
important.
full text. They give you everything that a land can do. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
We've got a Twitter winner.
Twitter winner.
Absolute dog, which is what I called Brando's mother.
Wait, that's his name?
The at handle is Free D's for all. Free D's for all.
Like DEEZ?
No, D, like the big D.
Oh.
Free D's for all. Absolute dog. If that's you, contact us on Twitter at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando, or commandercookout@gmail.com.
Get you some full art lands.
Yeah.
Or full text lands, I should say.
Full text lands.
Yeah, who gives a shit about full art lands these days? What's the point?
That cup land from Zendikar, though. Last thing.
New
patron.
New patron.
Benefit is the nickname.
Benefit. I'm going to use the air quotes.
We both air quoted, yes. Yep. You'd see that if you're watching on YouTube. Alex Beach. Alex Little Beach? Alex
Beach Slap.
Oh, Alex Beach Slap.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he's going to beach slap the lips right off you.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of
that.
that.
That's an easy one. Alex, welcome and F you. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about retiring decks for several reasons.
Yes.
And I want to run through reasons, and maybe you can tell me how important you think these reasons are.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the thing here. Revisiting or retiring. And retiring doesn't necessarily mean dismantling. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, sometimes you just like have a deck that you just
put it on the shelf.
Yeah, it's just there now. I have a couple of those.
Yeah, you put it on the shelf, and I think a lot of the times that happens when decks become too powerful, and then you can't play them with the average kind of deck in the meta or deck in your playgroup.
And there's I found another reason of them where they do the thing that they're supposed to do, and then you're kind of not really interested in doing that thing because you've already done it. Primal Surge decks, I think, for some people are a good example of that. But you don't want to take the deck apart because the bones of it, the theory behind it, you really like.
You still connect with it or whatever.
And so you keep it in the hopes that in the future something new will come out that might kind of revamp interest in it. And I have a couple of decks that are like that.
Okay. Well, listen to these reasons. You tell me how important they are, why you might retire a deck, whether that means dismantle it or shelf it.
Okay.
The overall power of your deck arsenal. You can adjust the overall power of your deck arsenal. Let's say you have 10 decks. Even 5, whatever. Or 26, however many you have.
There you go.
I'm going to take this deck apart because it's too weak. It doesn't fit in with the meta because it's no good. I can't make this niche strategy work.
The people that I play with are too
up there.
Yeah.
Or the opposite end of the spectrum is this deck's too good, nobody likes playing against it, and it's got a lot of cards in it that I want to use elsewhere.
Sure.
Okay, that's one.
Both are good.
To adjust power level of your overall arsenal.
Yeah, I have one of those it's just too wimpy as well. My Mutate deck is just, it's too weak to play in most, and I love that deck, but it's precons are much better than it now.
Yeah. Somebody plays removal, I guess the Mutate deck's out.
Exactly.
Okay. Collection, management, and game affordability.
Big.
Maybe Joe will have these on the screen. I should have said that for the first one because now he's got to go back. He's like, fuck.
Nice, fine.
Big, hey, because okay, I got this card. Proxies notwithstanding, because everybody can have proxies, and we're not discussing proxies. But let's say you don't want a proxy.
Sure.
I had a guy at a EDH and he says, I hate proxies.
Sure.
Yeah, so you got like a Gaia's Cradle. Oh, I want to put this in a different deck.
Yeah.
I went right to Gaia's Cradle.
Well, that's the one of the best ones because it's 100% prohibitively expensive.
Yes.
It has decent analogs in the game.
Yes.
Where you don't really need it, but let's say you want it. And I have a proxy Gaia's Cradle. I have a real one too, but I do have a proxy one in my AV deck.
There you go.
There it is.
I think I got a proxy Gaia's Cradle too.
You know, like whatever. Like some of that, but some people don't want to do that. They have a real one. They want to play the real one. So they'll sit there and they'll look through their deck to find it, pull it out, put it in the sleeve.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to do that.
I very much am not a staple binder or staple box user. You know how like you have one card and it goes in all your decks and they're color coded or labeled or whatever.
Yeah.
And you switch them or say, I've got this as a proxy, but I have the card. It's in a different deck or it's in my box so it doesn't get damaged or whatever.
Yeah, there's a few people that I've seen that they come with little 4x4 binders or whatever.
I just don't do that. I'm like, I only have one Gaia's Cradle. I guess Gaia's Cradle goes in one deck, right?
And if you're like Ryan, then I mean, maybe that deck that has the Gaia's Cradle the Gaia's Cradle lives here, but I lend it out. It goes traveling to other decks.
Yeah.
Maybe you just want the Gaia's Cradle somewhere else, so you dismantle that deck, get the crap
and
out of it.
You know what? I go back to the first topic thing that we were talking about average power level of deck. I've got decks that Gaia's Cradle would make more powerful. Mm-hmm. Decks that can find it, decks that can utilize it, creature decks that want mana. That's like fucking every deck, right? Every deck. And I keep the average power level of my decks kind of on a bell curve, I guess. Some one or two weak ones, most of them are here, and then a couple really powerful fringe CEDH ones.
Right.
Tuned killing machines, right? And
Yeah.
Gaia's Cradle belongs in those for sure. But I don't need the top of my bell curve of my deck's power to include Gaia's Cradle in every one, because it moves that bell curve. It squishes more of that bell curve towards the powerful side.
Yeah.
And I don't need that. I don't need to win every game and dominate my opponents, and both monetarily and strategically.
See, and I only need to do that on Sidewalk Slam, which I have done, being undefeated as I am. It's,
Okay, reason 3. And this goes back into what I was just saying.
Okay.
Varied gameplay experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is probably huge for you. You're like, new red or Gruul Commander comes out and you're like, oh, I want to build it.
Yeah, because it's something different.
And I think you just took apart a deck, didn't you? A Gruul deck a little while ago?
Couple, actually. I took apart... I dismantled half of my Feldorn Wolf Lady deck.
Yep.
And half of my Maria Mox Emerald deck, and put them together into one Monstrosity Franken deck. And I dismantled my Rurik Thar CDH deck.
That's the one I was talking about. That's the Gruul deck that was both powerful and you never played it.
Yeah.
Wanted the cards elsewhere in your collection. You turned one of them into a tattoo because it was worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And you wanted a varied strategy, because it was just, and don't take it the wrong way, but it was just another Gruul deck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you've got piles of cards sorted out, you've got red ones and green ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
And
all good reasons?
I enjoyed it, but sometimes it'll take it away. All good reasons. Also, the tattoo wasn't of the card; it's of a frog.
Oh yeah.
And a little Hollow Knight. You can see it on YouTube right now.
There you go. If you're watch it on YouTube.
Well said.
I wonder if Joe made me green.
Probably did.
Probably didn't. Guess we'll never know.
There's no way to tell.
Okay.
Are those the 3 main reasons you can think of for retiring or dismantling decks? Because there's also
I think so.
I think that there's a one where you're bored of it too. Like I've had decks where you play them and you're just like, this is really boring. I have an Azorius deck.
The deck that you never reach for to bring to F&M or an event.
I built one that was designed to kind of be crappy. Air quotes crappy, and it was an Azorius kind of enchantments tokens deck, and it's fine, but like I never want to play it. And the only reason it exists is so that I can say I have an Azorius deck.
Do you think if you made a good Azorius deck, you'd want to play it if it was good?
I don't think so. I don't think I do, because this one's like, it's got fun stuff in it. It does fun things, and when I play it, it's good. Like it performs exactly where I want it to, and it does fun stuff that I like. It's just I never ever think to bring it, because I've built a couple other decks that are on that same level
that you like better.
That I like better,
like the colors or the strategies or whatever. Just that you like better. So you take that Azorius deck apart because it's boring.
Yeah.
If we have a list on the screen, boring.
Yeah, like you never think to go to it. And decks can be boring for lots of reasons. You can have the Primal Surge deck that does the same thing kind of every time, or you can have the thing where it does what you want it to do, but it's like, I only have this because it's a certain power level and colors I don't usually play. and I don't want to be pigeonholed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Or even I've had this deck for a long time. I feel like I've explored all of the different kind of play strategies or win cons in it, and now I'm going to make it into something else.
I haven't done anything with it.
Boring isn't bad in my example there is what I was trying to highlight.
Yeah, and boring isn't always bad. Sometimes you're just tired of something and you want to turn it into something new.
Yeah, sometimes CEDH decks win the same way every single time, which some people, that's why they accuse CEDH of being boring. But in actuality, even though the deck wins the same way every time, like through a Thassa's Oracle combo or whatever, or with Walking Ballista, like in our example, but it's not boring because the gameplay and the interactions prior to winning are what make the gameplay fun and interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like it's turn 4, but like 86 spells have been played because everybody's got like counter magic, removal, protection, and that's how that game is played.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just different.
Yeah. So that's some stuff on retiring. And like those are the reasons to retire. You talked about some decks that you've just retired or dismantled. I don't want this to sound too redundant, so I'm just going to read what I wrote last night when I was kind of after a few beer with my brother. The difference between this is my kooky show notes. What does it mean to retire? Does it mean dismantle? Does it mean shelf it? Why would somebody do this? Too powerful, no good. We talked about all that already.
About that stuff.
Now, revisiting decks or tweaking decks.
Yes.
For all of those same reasons, this deck's not good enough. This deck's too good. This deck's boring.
Yeah.
What is the Brando process? Open up the door into your mind. That is how you not build, because we've talked about that. How you tweak a deck that you need to tweak for whatever reason.
I think this is actually a good example of this. Way back in the early days of CCO Podcast, we talked about your win conditions or my win conditions, clone tribal blue deck, where virtually every card in it just cloned or stole something from you, and that was the deck.
Yep.
Loved that deck, but it got kind of dull where like as things got less bomby and more combo party, and you can't just take one gear out of a machine and have it win. You got to take like a piston. Enough pistons you can win.
You got to take a hammer out of a machine made out of hammers.
Yes.
Yes, and EDH isn't a game or a machine made out of hammers anymore. It's finite gears like a stopwatch.
It became much more difficult to have that deck perform the way that I wanted it to. So I took it apart, and then moving along, I always miss that deck. There are times when I go back, I miss this deck a lot. So what did I do? Is I found a deck that I was getting bored with, thinking about retiring into dismantlement. And instead of doing that, I cut all the stuff that I thought was like, it's just not what I want. I don't want this. I took all of that crap out. It was like 25 cards. Replaced all of it with clones.
Clones.
Yeah.
Including new clones, because new clones come out on the the frequent.
Every set or two you get one, maybe two, who knows? And so what I've done is I've taken an idea that I had retired already, that I wanted to revisit really badly, but didn't want to build that deck again because I know what it does, and it's not my thing. And so I took a deck that wasn't performing the way I wanted it to, and when I added the clones into it, it actually works a lot better.
Yeah, there you go.
It's actually pretty cool.
I think it's important to have this conversation or think about this kind of thing, revisiting decks for whatever reason it is. There's a reason.
Yeah, I think
and the reason is usually and this is going to sound like strong language, but the reason is usually a negative one.
Yeah.
This deck's no good. That's internally. This deck is no good. That's internally my reason.
Yeah.
This deck is too good. It's too powerful. My friends don't want to play with it. Externally, that's their reason for me not playing this deck.
Right.
Both reasons to tweak a deck.
Sure.
One being very much harder to do and a harder pill to swallow than the other, in that I have to make my deck probably worse because it wins too much or is too consistent or my friends don't like it.
Because my friends are bitches.
Because my friends are bitches. No,
never think that.
I never want to go to the get good scrub or my friends just need to learn how to play more interaction. Build your decks different.
Yeah.
Well, if there's 4 of them or 6 of them or a whole LGS of them saying that you're one person with your one deck or maybe decks, that don't fit into the culture, maybe that's a reason that you need to look inside and adjust my deck, my liege, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's important to recognize when that's happening, even if nobody actually tells you that. Is this deck winning too much?
Yeah.
Right? That's why I built Crab Tribal. I was finding I would take my longest standing decks to EDH and M, and subtle brag here. There was a night I played like 4 or 5 games and I won all of them, every single one. And I was like, ooh, that's cool.
Who are you, me?
But yeah, what am I, Brando on Sidewalk Slam? I said, that's cool, but I don't think that that's okay. I don't want to be the guy that everybody thinks that they needed to whip out their best deck against.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be the guy that says, well, Ryan always wins.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be that guy because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to run a CEDH league or trying to scumbag new players. We got lots of kids that play at our LGS.
Trying to pub stomp people, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I want to pub stomp beer into my mouth after.
Yeah.
And a whole plate of frickin' nachos with Aiden the other day.
Yeah, you shared them.
Yeah, well, we're homies.
Sharing.
And so I built Crab Tribal, and it's fantastic. I think I'm going to bring it to Vegas so me and Tyler Tylerson Tyler Coates can have a turtle versus crab off. What are you going to bring? What tribe are you going to freaking bring?
Oozes.
Oh, but that deck's good, though. I wonder if Tyler's deck is good.
We did it on the show. It's fine.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Did I make the joke that I only want to play cards that are older than 12 years old so they can all be teenagers?
Yes.
Is there enough turtles? Is there 4 turtles that are at least 13 years old
Yes.
that I could put in the deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably right.
Definitely.
What kind of cartoon has crabs in it besides SpongeBob? Because there's like one crab. Is there any cartoons that got crabs in them? Let us know in the comments.
Beast Wars Transformers has one.
Oh.
And let me think. Crabs.
Beast Wars. I remember that show.
I think Street Sharks had a crab guy in it.
I think you're right. It would fit the MO of Street Sharks.
He-Man had a crab guy.
Who's the crab guy in He-Man?
Clawful.
Clawful.
His name was Clawful.
Pokemon has crabs in it.
Yeah, Pokemon has all kinds of crabs.
But that's another card game.
Yeah.
Who am I, Aiden? Just bringing Pokemon cards for tokens? Frickin' guy.
Yeah. There's lots of crabs anyway. You could do it. But
I'm thinking about and the reason I bring up crabs is that deck, it turned out that it was way not powerful enough. I made it too bad. And I'm like, hey, crab's got to get better. What do? I'm going to add a bunch of swords in. Umezawa's Jitte. I play that one trolley dual land because I had one. And they're like, oh, Crab Tribal, it's probably terrible. I'm like, yeah, Bayou. Oh, what? Bayou into Bird of Paradise. And they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, it's crabs.
As you know, Bird of Paradise is a variety of crab.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's very few people know that. I learned that from our bird and bug guy that comes to EDH&M. He told me all about how the Bird of Paradise is actually a very, very evolved version of a common fiddler crab.
Yeah, math checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is 100% scientifically proven true.
It's like playing the pre-show game.
I wouldn't lie to you.
You will win.
Yeah.
Revisiting decks.
Let me, before we get into revisiting decks, never give up on a deck that you've taken apart.
Oh, yeah?
A concept that you have clones, pardon me, or mutate. Crabs or mill or anything. Like, let's say you've built that deck, you've had some bad experiences with it, and then some people never want to go back to it. Oh, I had a mill deck and everybody hated it and I took it apart.
Mill's a tough one because it's hard to win with unless you just infinite, and it's really hard for people to get it into their mind that, like, it's tough to play against mill because you're seeing your deck not being able to be played.
Yeah,
Mill's a good example.
Yeah. And I think that some people just get turned off of let's just use the mill. I don't want to build mill. I don't want,
or I tried it and I dismantled it after one night.
Yeah, never give up on something like that because something will eventually come around where it's like, maybe I should revisit that idea. And if you've closed yourself off from it, you've retired the idea entirely, you could be missing out on something that could be really cool for you and for your play group maybe.
Yep.
Right? Like so many people at EDH&M were like, Brando, when are you going to bring an assassin mill deck? That I am working on, right? And it's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Because I built a mill deck, didn't like it, never even revisited it at all. Assassin guy comes out. Yeah.
I do feel like that with my mill deck because I know I can't just walk in and play it against anybody. I've had bad experiences when people have been milled because they had bad experiences because they got milled. So my Bruvac mill deck, mono blue, freaking bunch of counter spells, so I don't die, is a deck I only play against very certain peoples that I know either very well or who I know want to have that kind of game against me where I'm trying to politic and mill and counterspell everybody, right?
Yeah.
And that's a deck that I've thought about tweaking, changing, making into a meme practitioner's deck again because I don't want to give up on it. And what I've done in not giving up is just resigned it to that kind of power level or that elevation of deck where I only play at super powerful tables.
Which is crazy because it's a mill deck.
Yeah, and the deck isn't very powerful, but it plays 12 or 15 very powerful cards, and some of the milling it does is infinite with Bruvac. Like, it'll mill you instantly.
Yeah.
Right?
Traumatize.
Traumatize or a maddening cacophony. But that's traditionally not how the deck wins because it doesn't have the tutors to find those cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but just never give up on your dreams. Mm-hmm.
Never give up on your dreams, kid. That's a good life lesson right there.
That's important, yes.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us go. We're living our dream.
We're like
Brando
dads.
lives at the radio station, and I'm going to put up Christmas lights at my brother's.
Ooh.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brando's bed is just back there.
I forgot to tell this story earlier, so I'm gonna tell that right now.
Sure.
Speaking of living the dreams, so I bought all the stuff to make my favorite spaghetti sauce.
Oh, you mean spaghetti sauce in a jar?
Well,
you bought a jar full of spaghetti sauce?
I use like a general thing as a base, but like I get garlic and I mush it.
Oh yeah.
And I put some, and I crumble up sausages and I put them in
Oh,
there.
look
and
at you
stuff.
go.
Like I do some sauce.
You got some shit. You got some skills to pay the bills.
So I did all this cooking, right? And I make all this stuff, making it. I go into the living room. I get a beer because that's where my beer fridge is. And I'm drinking my beer and I'm listening to a book on my headphones. And I finish cooking up the sauce. And I go under the counter and I get all my Tupperware. And I put all this sauce in the Tupperware, put it into the fridge, went and sat on the couch to watch a show. Like, God damn it, I'm really hungry. I spent like an hour making spaghetti sauce and then didn't eat it.
Fucking Brando.
God damn it,
That
Brando.
is what we do at the end of the gardening season when we pickle all our stuff and make tomato sauce and soup and stuff. We eat the soup, but mostly we freeze everything else. And when you pickle stuff, you got to let it like
Pickle.
Oh man, we made some pickled carrots. I showed it off on the CCO Nation on the Food and Drink channel. Nobody knew what they were. Pickled carrots?
Huh. Yeah, I know what those are.
They're carrots that you cut up into spears, like long ways, and you pickle them in pickling brine with like dill and peppercorn and garlic. And in my case, and they were frickin' delicious. Me and my brother ate almost a whole jar yesterday when we were drinking beer and pickled stuff. Good combination.
Yes.
I put up chopped up garden jalapenos and made spicy pickled carrots.
Oh, that would be really good.
Frickin' good, yeah.
I bet that would be
and I ran out of regular pickles for my sandwich, so I went into the pickled carrot jar and I used the pickled jalapenos for pickles on my sandwich.
That would be good too.
Frick.
That would be good.
That was some good ass stuff right there, I'll tell you that much.
Culinary Cookout Podcast, baby.
Yeah.
Little aside. Now, retiring decks. is what we're talking
Pickly
about.
Cookout Podcast.
We're pickling decks. We're taking them, putting them away for a while, bringing them out when there's something else.
Yes. So I asked you a little bit about your process. In why you might tweak or whatever, but what is the actual process that you do? You know how we've talked in the past about like when you build decks, how do you lay them out? Do you lay out like your removal and then your creatures? Do you build them physically with cards in your hands, or do you put them like into a deck list database and you've got like 200 cards on your Archideck page and you just start making cuts by edit deck?
Oh, no.
Okay, so you've got a deck in your hand, physical deck of 100 cards that you're like, oh, I got to tweak this deck. It's fucking shitty. Do you lay it out? Do you have cards that you have in mind that are the shitty culprits that you want to replace? Like, what do you do?
Yes, that is typically what I'll. There's two ways that I will revamp a deck. There's the
speak to the person who needs to make their deck better. That's the new members of CCO Nation.
Okay.
And then maybe speak to the person who needs to look inside and say, my deck is too good. I got to make it worse. Speak to that person.
To that person. You look in your deck, you find there's always a shitty culprit. There always is. It's going to be grave pact. It's going to be.
This is like the
torment of Hailfire. You want to make
the
your
card
deck,
that people hate.
Yeah, these are the what I'm trying to cut for something better to try and make the deck. I'm retiring my deck because it wins too much or it makes people salty.
My Acroma, my Avacyn deck that has the Armageddon in it that everybody hates.
Yeah.
I want to cut Armageddon.
Yeah.
That's the card.
You find the card with I don't want to use the high salt rating, but you find the card that
baggage.
makes people pissed off at the deck and you cut it.
That's the card with baggage.
For something else that you like, something that's new, something you want to try something new and just see how it goes. I've made cuts in decks years ago and legit I've never seen the new card I put in. I have cards I put in from
26 decks then.
I have cards from Kaldheim I've never drawn in decks. That's fucking crazy. And I'm maybe not the best example for that because I have a billion decks.
Yeah.
But like I put that whenever a death touch creature hits somebody, they get 2 poison counters. I put that in Hapatra years ago. Never drawn it. I saw it the other day when I was thumbing through the deck. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What the hell card is this?
I did have the flip vehicle god from Kaldheim. I put that in Calamax, always for the backside because you can just play the backside. Yeah. And I ended up cutting it for a vehicle, I think from New Capenna, and I hadn't even played that card. And like that's not that card's fault. I didn't play that deck enough, and I've got 13 or 14 decks. But then like the graveyard removing vehicle comes out.
Yeah.
Unlicensed Hearse came out.
That's the one.
And I'm like, this card is obviously better, and it's a vehicle, and I'm going to replace another vehicle. Yeah. And it's like, this is fine, right?
Yeah.
And that was the culprit because it was the weakest thing that I was upgrading with or two.
And if you're trying to bring your deck down, there's what you do. If you're looking to make your deck more interesting for yourself, and this is going to blow your mind. This is going to blow people's minds. I'm going to drop some truth on you. You ready for this?
Drop some lips. Don't
find cards that you like.
Yep.
And play them. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Isn't that mind-blowing? Your deck will be more fun if you fill it with cards that you like. And if you can't find room for them, find something boring and cut it. Don't worry about the decks. Well, can it compete without 10 ramp spells and 11 removal spells? Fuck, who cares? Is your deck fun? If the answer is yes, then play it.
You know what's a better card than I can't believe I'm going to say this. You know what's a better card than Topiary Stomper?
Tell me.
Some 2-mana ramp spell in my Calamax deck because it'll let me ramp to Calamax on turn 3. That's fantastic. But you know what's freaking way more fun?
Topiary Stomper in a car.
A dinosaur that's actually a tree driving a car.
Right?
Way more
That's
fun.
way cooler. You know what I cut for...
Or a boat or a train or whatever his vehicle of choice that day is.
I cut Path to Exile for Clown Car in a deck.
Ooh.
Right? Like...
Brando, that's Brando putting his money where his mouth is.
Because I wanted to play Clown Car, and I didn't have any cards that were like, oh, I don't like this enough. So it's like, you know what? Path.
Path to Exile. Out.
Screw it. I have swords still. It's fine. Right? Like, do that kind of stuff. Don't let yourself be put in a box. Don't let yourself be put in a corner. Baby, nobody puts baby in a corner. Right? Just play the cards that you like, and your decks will be more interesting to you and probably to everybody else.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a fan of... I don't want to say every deck has a theme, but every deck has a thing that it's trying to do. The strategy it's trying to enact.
It has a reason to exist. You wouldn't build a deck if it didn't have a reason.
Yes, exactly. And in lots of cases, ramp cards and removal/interaction protection, that category, ramp is a category, then interaction protection removal is a category. lots of times those two categories have nothing to do with what your deck does.
Yeah.
And people get into that box, that rubric that they heard content creators talk about on the internet that says you need this many, this many, this many, this many, or your deck won't work. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying cut ramp spells or cut lands because like you kind of do need those
you do
for
need
your
that
deck
stuff,
for your deck to act like an EDH deck acts.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of cutting what my theme or strategy is, taking those cards out. Like if I'm making a dinosaur deck and like a new, I don't know, powerful graveyard card comes out that I want to try or play, I don't want to cut a dinosaur for that because that's what the deck does.
Yeah.
I would lean towards cutting a removal spell and then changing a little bit how I play the deck. Maybe politic a little bit harder so I don't need to have all those removal spells as backup for just sitting there doing a powerful thing.
Or you can
I'll
adjust,
politic harder.
You can adjust the thought because you're playing dinosaurs and your shit's way bigger than their shit.
Yep.
Just attack them and make them block with it.
That's also a good idea.
My 7/7 will beat that 2/2 I hate.
That changes the way that you play the deck. Yeah. And the way that you play the deck is inferred by or influenced by the way that the deck is built. And you can cut a removal spell for something that you want to play.
Yeah.
Now, Path to Exile, that's a pretty good card.
I know, right?
Pretty good card.
And you know what I have now? Clown car.
People are going to be like, yeah, the fucking C in CCO stands for clown.
Yeah. Well, maybe. And you know what? I've resolved clown car and it's lots
Clown
of fun.
car out.
Yes.
Except in your case, clown car in.
No, out because the clowns get out of the car. And you have several clowns. I got way more clowns than a big clown car.
Did we
too.
talk about going infinite with clown car?
Of course
we did, right?
Of course we did.
Okay.
But you don't go infinite with it. You pay like 7, and then you roll a bunch of dice, and you get like a 2/2 clown car and 5 dudes. Yeah.
Oh, don't Google that.
That's pretty good, man.
2 in the front, 5 in the back.
It's the minivan.
That's the minivan. What's the clown car? Just like 15 in the back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's as many as you can possibly fit. Wherever you can fit it.
It's going to be like CCO house.
That's right.
15 people in a house.
The CCO clown car. You know, we could do that too.
CCO clown house.
We could all just pile into a van and then drive there. Like
Somebody
the
was thinking about
car.
renting a van or bringing a van, and I was like, that would be convenient. We'd only need one vehicle.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, no, not necessarily, because you might want to, like, people might want to go to different places. One person to go pick up the food, one go pick up the beer. You might want that. Or everybody just go pick up the beer. That's the other option.
Yeah, exactly. We can order food. Have you ever heard of food ordering?
We got tacos and pizza delivered in Seattle.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
And beer.
We did at midnight.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
See? America.
We were up late enough. That midnight beer delivery was like lunchtime.
Yeah.
And we still had supper at
Yeah.
the appropriate number that supper is usually at. Like 5.
Yeah.
That's a good way to end it, I think. Talking
Yes.
about Magic 30, Las Vegas CCO experience is going to be fantastic. Get your shirts when you're there and all the other little surprises and games we've got cooked up. It's going to be a ton of fun. If you see us there, because I get asked all the time, we are going to be in the free-to-play area, whatever that means.
Yeah.
It's going to be anywhere except for on the floor because I'll fucking make eye contact with somebody until they get more tables so people don't have to play on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at being a polite asshole. But the key word there is being polite. If you
Yes.
come and want to play games, let's jam games. Look for anybody in a CCO Nation shirt. I guarantee they're a good person and they'll want to play Magic. What else? Drinking beer after
Yes.
or during. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, we can
how
neither
it's gonna-
confirm nor deny that you can get away with that if you try really hard. It might be a little bit harder now because of it being a convention. I would imagine there will be
added security.
Yeah, which is
I don't care.
fuck.
I
But-
don't care. If we got to go to Fremont Street to get a beer,
Oh,
we'll go to
no.
Fremont Street to get a beer.
Yeah, I mean, what you mean? You have to watch a TV that's 5 blocks long while you listen to like 18 bands at once and drink a tequila sunrise in front of a restaurant where they paddle you if you don't finish your burger. Oh no,
But and you get paddled by a girl like in a leather bikini.
Vegas.
Welcome to Vegas.
Something
It's
for
gonna be
everybody. Maybe there'll be
fantastic.
somebody in a Pikachu suit, and he'll like have a little.
Does that person paddle me?
I mean, they probably would if you
Probably
paid them some
would,
money.
yeah.
That's one thing that I learned about Vegas. If you give people money,
They'll do anything.
hey, you guys want to kill a hooker? Like, that's a real question somebody asked us.
Yeah. We didn't, by the way.
didn't, no.
Yeah, no. Okay, next thing. Big shout out to FusionGamingOnline.com, official business daddy CCO Spring to get 5% off. Geekwood.ca. Click on our affiliate link below. CCO Podcast promo code 10% off. They got high-end wood stuff. I love high-end wood. I'll tell you that much.
Sure.
They got magic dice. They do custom stuff. Doing either of those things supports the show. If you want to support the show further, patreon.com/CCO Podcast, commandercookout.com to donate. There is a donate button there too. All great ways to support the show.
Neat. The show is great.
If you want to
This is what it
support
is.
the show for free,
Yeah, click the like button, click the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening to us right now, and then come back in the future to watch and listen again, because those numbers going up really make us feel good, which is a form of support that we appreciate more than basically anything.
Yeah, numbers going up on YouTube is like my favorite thing.
I'd rather people come and listen to the show than anything else. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, we got a deck tech next week, right?
We do.
We
We're
got a
gonna-
regular deck tech next week.
To like fill in the spaces when we're trying to recover from GP Vegas, and you're gonna hear all about that on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song.